Welcome to another edition of Crossroads Today. Now here's your host, Roach Brown.
Good morning and welcome to Crossroads. This is WPFW 89.3 FM, your station for jazz and justice. PFW is heard around the world, and particularly and especially for men and women in correctional facilities all over the world, not just in the country, in America. We've got letters and calls from folk all over the globe. So thank you for tuning in to Crossroads, but also thank you for all the folk who supported us during the fund drive, our summer drive, and we made our goal and exceeded it. So thank you for all those who made donations and contributions to WPFW and KF Crossroads. We appreciate your generosity, and thank you for making sure that we stay on the air. As usual, we have an interesting show, and our topic for this morning is From Prison to the Stage. This is the 11th annual event at the John F. Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., where they allow inmates or returning citizens to perform live from the Kennedy Center. And this is the 11th year that they are holding From Prison to the Stage. And, folks, this is something that you don't want to miss. And joining me is an old rascal. I know his name is Dennis Sobin. He's the producer of the Prison Foundation, and Roach Baham, executive director of the Safe Street Foundation. This is the 11th year that the Kennedy Center is allowing returning citizens to perform free at the Kennedy Center. You can come in and see it, and you're in for a treat. The production From Prison to the Stage consists of formerly incarcerated people with criminal records who've been in the institution out. There's music, dancing, there's some artwork that's being displayed. And I'm amazed that, Dennis, you've been keeping this going for 11 years. Yeah. What started this From Prison to the Stage production? How do you get into this?
When I was in prison.
I know that.
A few times. And when I was there, and including Lawton.
That's right.
That was a holding place because they had charges against me. Since I wouldn't plead guilty, very unusual to get a trial in this country.
Yeah.
You're entitled to one, but as my attorney said, you pay for it. And I certainly did, with a lot of extra time. And the prosecutor also said, in addition to state charges, they'd bring federal charges, and they did that. So I stayed at Lawton waiting for a federal trial while I was on my way back to Florida, which was the original sentence. In prison, I got there, I said, well, what am I going to do? I'll start reading. I'll start working on my music. And I did all of that. And I said, my goodness, I'm learning more here than I did in college, because it was self-study, and the guys around were not dopes. I was under the impression they might be, everything you hear in that, but these were very capable people, very independent-minded, maybe too much so. And I learned quite a bit there. The problem was I didn't have a connection with the outside. The family abandoned me, because after time, it's like you're saying, if you throw in too many years, everybody forgets about you, or they want to go straight and they don't want to admit to a family member. It hurts their career, whatever. So my big problem was getting some support on the outside to get my music books, to get other things that I needed. I would be writing publications. I would send it to family, and I wouldn't hear anything back. Later, I found out they just threw it away. Something that took me 6 months to write. You can't make copies in prison, as you know. A lot of restrictions there. So I wanted to do an organization that would work with prisoners to help them advance their goals in prison, artistic goals, music, publishing books. And so we now have an organization that is the Prisons Foundation that does publications that you send us your manuscript, original copy. We'll take care of it. We'll scan it. We'll put it on the internet. We'll no charge at all. We charge nothing for any of our services, and we have over 1,500 books now written by prisoners. Go to our website, prisonsfoundation.org. You can read any of the books.
And all these books have been written by men and women in prison. They send them out to you.
And they send it out to us, and this is their voice, Roach. This is the way as you know, prisons are closed to everyone, and they could take advantage. We were talking about that just before the show, beatings, etc. But here, they could name names. They could say, this corrections officer did this did this did this, and it gives them a voice. We also, at the same time, recognize there's a lot of artistic prisoners beyond writing that do artwork, and so we developed a allied organization called Safe Streets Arts Foundation, and I'm happy to have a very fine director in Rose Baham, who is director of that and accepts the art that comes in. We farm it out to galleries. And Rose, what do you think of some of the pieces that have come in?
Oh, they're quite phenomenal. I think most of them are actually professional
painters, artists.
Yes, and they're being purchased very small small fees.
What kind of support are you getting? A lot of prisoners sending you their artwork and their manuscripts to the Safe Street Foundation. How do you let people know that you're available to receive their artwork and to display it?
As you know, Roach, because I've been in prison, Rose has not yet. If she hangs around with me enough, she probably will. But and she could tell a story about our police visit just yesterday to our house that woke us up in the morning. She'll tell you that in a moment. At any rate, we word of mouth in prison. As you know, prisons are closed communities. The grapevine in prison. But beyond that, we get a lot of support by prison publications. Even what we're doing today on your show, families will say, oh, we just heard that there's an organization that accepts manuscripts and will publish your book, no cost, and we do it quickly, too. We don't wait 6 months, a year. In 2 weeks, they get notice that their book has been published. We send them out web cards, and of course, it spreads to other inmates. They go to transfer to another prison, and things happen that way. But we're very thankful for the publications out there, including the religious publications, both Jewish, Christian, Mormon.
Everything.
They have all publications. They get into prison, and they spread the word about this as well.
Okay.
So, having been there, I knew where to go for the word to be spread, and it's wonderful. So we just get tons of letters every day, and we respond to them all with some.
You all are doing
help.
a tremendous work, man, because I know a lot of guys in prison. I just read something about Guantanamo Bay. That a couple of the prisoners down there wrote books, and the Defense Department refused to let them have their books. And they're saying that you was in a government facility on government land, and anything that was created inside of this facility is government property. Right. So, in some prisons do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you write a book or manuscript, they would confiscate your literary work and say it's the property of the government, and you can't retain it. And as you said, you can't make a copy because copies cost 25 cents a page, and you make $1 a month. So how can you get a copy?
Exactly, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But let's get back to this Kennedy Center.
I do, because of the star we're going to have this year, fellow you know, by the name of Roach Brown.
I don't know who that turkey is.
Know who he is.
I don't know who that turkey is. Do you know him, Rose?
Yes, sir. He's sitting right in front of me. So glad to know you, sir.
So this show at the Kennedy Center, it's amazing how you able to get the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, and they got a new theater in it called the Family Theater. It was where this from prison to the stage.
That's the newest theater. It's a lovely theater, and many people. It's a concert hall. It's beautiful, perfect for us, and we can accommodate a lot of people, no cost. But what happened, Roach, is the way I got in there was when I got back from prison. We began this organization, and things were rolling along well. I said, they have this. They have performers at the Kennedy Center. Why not? And I play guitar and all of that, so I brought a CD with me of some of the work I did. And I went to one of the festivals there, and I happened to approach or see a fellow, and I'm going to mention his name because he's been so helpful over the years, Greg Henry. And he spoke to me. He said, well, Dennis, beyond putting you on, why don't we just do it for everyone, talented people in prison who have something to offer, dance, music, acting. And you could have a whole show out of this. We'll call it From Prison to the Stage, or From Prison to Kennedy Center Stage. And that's the way it happened, right on the spot with that. This fellow, Greg Henry, recognized immediately the potential that we had here, the interest and the need. And so in addition to just saying they're interested in me, he said, let's open this up. Okay. And he gave us a spot, and he's stuck with that, and it's wonderful. So each year we screen, and this is part of our publishing program too, things that we publish. We look at excerpts of writing, plays, poems, etc., and we perform them at the Kennedy Center with professional actors and actresses, many of whom are returning citizens as well. That's always a priority. As we laughably say, we do background checks on people, and if they have a criminal record, they pass. They pass.
That's one of the few things you get a criminal record and it's not a negative.
Right. Yeah. Some people lie about it. They say, "Oh, I have one." I say, "Well, we want to."
Well, this show at the Kennedy Center, folks who are listening, this is an unusual opportunity for returning citizens to perform, sing, dance at the Kennedy Center on September the 1st from 8 to 10. And it's free. And you'll be in for a delightful evening. I know when I was in with Peter Green, we used to produce what we call prison talent shows. Mm-hmm. And the talent that you find inside of them institutions is mind-blowing. So you'll be exposed to somebody. In fact, just before we open up the show, Dennis, you and I were talking outside about taking this on the road next year.
Absolutely.
We're talking about expanding this from prison to the stage and taking it on the road to 4 cities, New York, Chicago, L.A., and Atlanta, and take this from prison to the stage and do a traveling prison production that to showcase the talent of men and women who are incarcerated and the abilities. Because back in 1971, there was a group from San Francisco called the Bob Y Theater, which helped us to get started with the Inner Voices. So in the past 25 years, there has not been a traveling prison play, musical production, or nothing. So I'm glad to be a part of this with you for this year. And the plan for next year to do a national traveling from prison to the stage production. And in fact, we talked about folk having auditions in the 4 cities in New York, Atlanta, Chicago, and L.A., and to audition talent that we can put into this production. We want it to be a professional Broadway or off-Broadway production. What are your take? What's your take?
The first step, I love it, and we're going to do it, is a week from this Saturday, we need people to come out to the Kennedy Center. Free, September 1, Saturday night, 8 o'clock. There's a shuttle bus going from the Foggy Bottom Metro to the Kennedy Center.
What's the location of the shuttle bus?
The location is at the Foggy Bottom Metro and the metro station.
And it runs every 15, 20 minutes?
Every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, they go from there to the Kennedy Center, back and forth.
Free?
Free. It's free. So, although you could park in the neighborhood too, don't park at the Kennedy Center itself because it's $22, and that's a little expensive.
About $100, isn't
it? But Roach, you helped us get our first show off the ground, and I remember that because they gave us a much smaller theater here. Now we have a very large one at the Kennedy Center. As you know, the Kennedy Center is made up of different theaters, and you can have very small ones. And I remember the first time when we did this, and people started coming in to support it and listening, and I remember the ushers in the background saying, "We're going to need more chairs."
That's right.
And so now they were out in the hallway there, but now they've given us a beautiful, beautiful theater, and we're not only because of you mentioned 11th year. This is actually the 10th year.
10th year.
Rose. I know you've never been wrong before on the air, but
I've been wrong all the time.
But this is very special to us, and so much so that we are taking all of the art that we have in storage that has not sold or we asked too much money for it, and we're going to more than display it. We're going to give it to the everyone who comes to the show.
We'll get a free painting.
We'll get a free original painting done in prison, and it's already matted. It's beautiful.
It's mounted and framed.
We have so many of these, and back because we've been at this so long, and we get so much talent from prison. We want to get it into the hands of people that are interested in working with us. No contribution, no donation. You don't even have to give us your name. You just come there to the Kennedy Center on September 1st, and at the end of the show, because you're going to be concluding the show, we don't want anyone to miss your wonderful...
am I on the show?
Oh, yes, I didn't tell you.
No, you didn't tell me, did you?
Now you're making me and Rose a little nervous here. Okay. Rose, should we have him on the show? What do you think?
Definitely. Definitely.
You know, this is amazing, folk. If you who are listening, please come out on September the 1st at 8 p.m. to the Kennedy Center, the Family Theater, and you will be in for an evening of nice entertainment. It's a family show. You can bring your kids down, your family can enjoy it, and to have this opportunity for folks with criminal records to have access to the Kennedy Center and perform their showing their talent, their expertise, and their skills. This is something that you won't forget. And for those folk who are old Lawtonites or support Lawton, this is a continuation of some of the talent shows we used to have in Lawton. In fact, most prisons have institutional talent shows.
The ones I produced, I called Stars Behind Bars. That was the name.
Stars Behind Bars.
We did our little posters around until they were ripped down. But we had, and one time I brought the house down on one of my performances. We did a song. I did a parody of the offices, on some of the offices on the compound. At the end of the show, they took me directly to the hole.
That's what they do.
And I told my partner who was doing this with me, I said, we're going to go to the hole over there.
Yeah.
He said, so what?
Yeah.
We're still going to get fed. So I did it. I said, you see.
That's one of the things about prison shows. They have a strict censorship rule. You don't know what it is until you violate it. And they don't know what the rule is, because if you say something that may rub the guards or the staff the wrong way,
absolutely,
you go to the hole or solitary. But this won't happen here at the Kennedy Center, folk. This is an opportunity for folk to come out and to enjoy it. And if you got anybody got talent or want to participate for next year, you can come there, sign up, and meet folk. But please, on September the 1st, at September the 1st, Saturday at 8 o'clock, come to the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, and you will be in for a nice entertainment. And the beautiful part about it is it doesn't cost you to get in, and you don't have to pay to park. There's a shuttle service from Foggy Bottom Metro Station that will bring you from the Metro Station to the Kennedy Center and bring you back. Mm-hmm. And this is something that we don't get an opportunity to participate in much. Rose, are you looking forward to this or not?
I'm really quite excited.
Why?
Because it's my first time to be participating.
It is?
In the Prisons Foundation and supporting the cause of the inmates, and both men and women who are incarcerated, and bringing out their talents and voices.
Beautiful.
And the people on the stage are all have been there and done that. So it's quite amazing. These are just same as everyone else.
Everybody else.
Yes.
There you go.
It's a very fantastic opportunity for all the participants. Yes.
And Dennis said something earlier that I seen or saw some of the artwork that guys have sent from prisons, and some of the artwork is fantastic, man. Yes. So you're saying that when the show is over, there'll be a Q&A session, and also everybody will receive a free painting or drawing made by a man or woman inside of an institution that you can take home as a souvenir or as a keepsake. So I don't know of anything free in D.C. except for time. You can get all the time you want it, and it's free.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but to come to a program to be entertained, to enjoy the show, to enjoy the show, and at the same time receive a gift that you can take home with you. We're going to take a break and come back. Joining us on the phone will be Kevin Petty. He's going to be calling in. He's with the group called the Amazing Gospel Souls, and they're one of the singing groups there. And I don't know why you allowed me to do my little funny stick down there. I know I owe you $10 for putting me on the program, Dennis. Now I'm giving you 10.
We're doing it because you're great. You really are great. And I'll never forget when you came in with 24-hour notice. We had a problem with one of our performers, an illness, and you came right in and you brought the house. It was beautiful, and you didn't go to the hole either.
Yeah, I didn't go to the hole. I went to maximum security. We're going to take a break and come right back with Dennis Sobin and Rose Baham. We're talking about the 10th annual From Prison to the Stage, Returning Citizen production at the JFK Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Folk, you in for an evening of entertainment. We'll make a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Crossroads. My name is Roach Brown, and we come to you every week at the same time. Joining me in the studio is Mr. Dennis Sobin, producer of the Prison Foundation, and Rose Baham, executive director of the Safe Street Foundation. We're talking about the 10th annual From Prison to the Stage. I won't call it a concert. It's a production of singers, dancers, actors, writers, etc., and comedians who will be performing September the 1st, and it's free. So you don't need to get a ticket, or you don't have to put it on your credit card. We want you to come out to show your support, because this is a launching pad. We're talking about next year. This will be on, hopefully, we'll take this on a national tour around the country to 4 or 5 cities. So come on out, folk, and we need your face in the place to let the folks know that we're still in the race. We need you there to give the support. We have one of the groups, let me back up and say this, that the MC for this event, who would the MC be?
Mr. Michael Brown, the former council member of D.C. and a formerly incarcerated person.
That's right.
And he helped us out last year. Last year he did it as part of his community service when he was released from prison. And he did such a wonderful job. We asked Mike to come on back, and of course he now is one of us. So
he's a fantastic guy. He's been on the show a couple of times. In fact, I emceed the show about 5-6 years ago, and it is an honor, and it was an honor to do that, and to have Michael Brown, a former city councilman, who's also the son of Ron Brown, used to be the Secretary of Commerce, who died in the plane crash. Yeah. So you have some big wigs, some nice folks coming in and performing. For Michael Brown, the former city councilman, to come in and to be the MC. And he had a fall. He went to prison and came out. And I like to see folk who fall and don't go in the corner and hide. We all, there's an old saying we used to say that it's not illegal to break the law. It's illegal to get caught. Mm-hmm. Everybody breaks the law, but everybody don't get caught.
That's right.
So to have Michael Brown as our MC is a feather in the cap of this production. And I'd like to say thank you, Mike, for participating. And if he can step up to the plate, the folks who are listening, you can come right down and look at the show and listen to it, and you will get earful. Then there'll be a question and answer session at the end of it. What's this about quilts? It said on exhibit in the lobby will be a collection of quilts made by women and men on death row awaiting execution in America. What is this about?
We have an individual, actually, she's down in Louisiana and deals with the Angola State Prison, which is a very large prison system. Formerly, Angola was a slave plantation.
That's right, plantation.
So it's only natural that the new slaves would be people like you and me down there. And she is actually a private investigator for defense teams working with men and women on death row. And she's gotten people off of death row, too, by exonerating them. Mm-hmm. But while she was at that, she noticed that their helpers, and they were creating art even under those circumstances, and she began to collect quilts that were made by people, not just on death row, but people working with hospice prisoners, lifers who are working with death row people in the hospice program. So she has this amazing collection of quilts that will be on display there, and so she will be on hand to do that. Also, I might say that there's another reason to come on the 1st because we're celebrating a very special birthday there. Rose Baham is having her birthday. I won't say how
birthday
old
on the
she
1st
is.
of September?
She is.
Yes.
Well, Maligayang Pasco. And that's for folks that don't realize that's Merry Christmas in the Philippines. And we spent a lot of time to learn how to say Merry Christmas in 122 languages.
Okay.
So Maligayang Pasco to you, Rose, for being
Salamat
here.
po.
Well, I don't know what to say after that.
I brought a souvenir of the federal prison system where I spent the last several years with the split sentence. The federal system is the only permits one musical instrument for an inmate to have in their possession, and that's the harmonica.
That's the only one?
That's the only one. They used to allow guitars now, but they too much security risk, but they kept the harmonica, so you could still order one. And I brought the very same one that I used in prison there.
Well, for playing that, I'm going to put you in the hole, Dennis. You got to go to the hole, Dennis. I'm going to put you in the hole for that, Dennis.
For Rose, who's done such a good job. And they wouldn't let me take this to the hole either.
You can't take your harmonica with you.
No, that wouldn't be punishment.
So one of the groups that's performing there is a group called the Amazing Gospel Souls with Kevin Petty and them. And this is I think it's only 2 groups, or 3 rather, who got a connection to Lawton, who performed in Lawton, were inmates in Lawton, who are out now. Lawton been closed over 10 years or better.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys are still singing professionally around D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. And they call it Amazing Gospel Souls, but they sing R&B, and they're bad. And you're lucky to have them because they have a tremendous audience. On the phone is Kevin. Are you there, Kevin?
Yes, I'm here, big brother. How you doing?
Come on, it's glad to have you on. We're talking about you right now, you turkey.
Gobble, gobble, gobble over here.
Hey. So I know you're looking forward to this performance at the Kennedy Center. You and your group, and y'all been singing in Lawton. You're out in the street, and y'all one of the few groups that have a Lawton connection, a relationship with the prison, and still performing. How y'all been able to do that, Kevin, to stay together after so many years?
Well, the biggest part of it is the mission, and it's a mission, we recognize that's how we started out in the early 80s in Lawton as an R&B group and and doing R&B gospel and all those kinds of things. But it vastly turned into a vehicle that God used on our behalf to raise us up into men, and so we still do it, and we use it for opportunity to inspire other people that if change is possible, look at us. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and along the way, it has become bigger than just being a musical group. It's about doing ministry work. It's about being available for the community, that we're from. And that's what we do. And so the music just happened to be, we old timers, but we still able to do what we do on that stage.
Yes.
And it's just a blessing, it's a blessing that we can still get fulfillment from getting on stage and singing harmonies and making people feel good about the music, but also, have a purpose.
There you go.
And that's the way we do it. Mm-hmm.
Well, folks are looking forward to seeing y'all perform on the Kennedy Center on September the 1st, the Amazing Gospel Soul.
And Kevin, you're going to be bringing, this is Dennis here. How are you doing, Kevin?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Dennis?
I'm
Yes,
doing fine. And you're bringing your whole band there, too. You've got 4 members, so it's more than just a singing harmony. You're going to get the whole experience here.
Yes.
And we're really looking forward to some of the clips I've seen. You guys are amazing. So that amazing title in there is
the
well
Amazing
deserved.
Gospel Souls.
Yes.
Looking forward.
We're looking forward to your performance, man, on September the 1st, you and the guys that sang with you. Because, again, this is an opportunity that most men don't get a chance to perform at the Kennedy Center.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
And what we said at the top of the show, Dennis and I, we're talking about trying to do this thing for next year and take it on the road and take it to 4 cities and have a traveling prison show from prison to the show, make it national. So you're a part of this history that we're making, Kevin. I want to thank you all for coming in. I mean, you ain't coming. You on the phone. I'm not when you coming in.
Yes,
boy, I took that old ginkgo biloba and it don't work, Kevin.
That
stuff supposed to help you improve your memory. You don't do no good, man. I forget my name. I forget my name. What time what time the show come on it? But at least we're here. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm glad I'm glad that I do have a forgetful memory, because the alternative is you don't remember nothing. So I'd rather have a memory that I'm forgetting than to be in one of them boxes. So don't view me, see me. I don't want to be viewed, see me.
Yes,
so
sir.
Thanks a lot, Kev, for calling in. And you got anything you want to say to our audience before you leave?
Yes, it's just that we're very, very humbled to have the opportunity to be recognized and to be a part of something so special, and that it would be at the Kennedy Center. It's just such a honor on our part to be a part of that. And you can count on it. Wherever we go, we bring it. So,
did y'all tell the warden that you're going to the Kennedy Center? Because you know you need permission to go there, you know?
No question about it.
The warden okay?
He ain't putting us in the hole. He was the first one we told.
You know, Roach, in fairness, and Kevin, in fairness to wardens, you know, when I got out and this thing started going and we had the first Kennedy Center show, I actually was contacted by the Wardens Association who asked me to perform at one of their conferences of wardens.
Wow.
And all these guys were all around, and I was playing my music, my guitar, which I learned in prison.
Did it make you wear handcuffs?
They gave me $100 too in cash. They didn't want any record out in Baltimore.
Yeah, ain't that something? Yeah. So I want to thank you, Kevin, for calling in for the Amazing Gospel Souls, and for folk who are listening. Thank you, Kevin. We'll see you Saturday, September the 1st, with the Amazing Gospel Souls. I know y'all gonna turn it out, man.
And listen, the last thing is that you get an opportunity. Let everybody know we in solidarity with all the brothers and sisters around the country that started to strike the day in prisons.
Right. Beautiful.
We're in total solidarity with them. Yes. Right.
Beautiful.
So help spread the word, big brother.
Okay, we will. And thanks a lot, Kev, for calling. I'll see you Saturday, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and thank you. That's been Kevin Petty of the Amazing Gospel Souls, who will be performing Saturday night, September the 1st at the Kennedy Center. And folk, you are in for a treat when you hear them guys cut loose. I mean, they are something else. So this show, again, is, as Dennis Sobin said earlier, this is a launching pad. Next year, we hope to take this thing nationally across the country to several other cities. So, folk, we need a big turnout, a big support to show folk that there is a market and folk are interested in seeing these kind of performances. So, please come out. It's free, no cost to you whatsoever. Just come on out to the Kennedy Center September the 1st at the Family Theater. And if you need a ride, you can get a shuttle from the Foggy Bottom Metro Station that would, every 15 minutes it leaves there, goes to the Kennedy Center, returns. So just ride the Metro down to the Foggy Bottom Metro Station, and there's a shuttle that takes you to the Kennedy Center, and that's also free. How you get all these things free, Dennis? The shuttle, the theater, what's going on?
There are people who understand and support you. You've educated people over the years, Roach, with your show.
You twist some arms, didn't you? All this stuff is free.
Souls, the ministry has really worked by getting out there. And I don't mean that so much in religious terms as I mean spreading the word out. It's not, it's all types of people that have been affected, including some at the Kennedy Center. And actually, one of the people at the Kennedy Center, when I was in prison, I wrote to some people there, and some responded, and they became very helpful to me on the outside, and they became pen pals. I mean, if you write, people in prison, if they keep on pushing and writing and trying to make contact, they're going to find some things there. And that brings me to another point I wanted to mention briefly, because we've been talking about the great talent that's going to be there in terms of acting, music, not just the amazing gospel souls, but others too will be performing, and it's wonderful. In fact, Rose has been doing the screening and recruiting of the actors, etc. But beyond all of that, the material that the actors are going to perform have all been written by prisoners.
And it's all original.
Yes, all original, and it's wonderful material. And we've spent the whole year screening and looking at finding the very best of the best. Now, everything else we publish, so you can see it online at prisonsfoundation.org, but we've taken the very best of the writing, of the poetry, and we put it in the hands of professional actors and actresses who are going to be performing this, and it's going to be riveting. It's wonderful material, and between all of this will be groups like the Amazing Gospel Souls. So it's not just hearing a lot of very good acting and dramatic readings, and some very humorous things too. And in a couple of cases, you may have to put fingers in the kids' ears, or a couple of little things there, because we got a guy that writes a lot like Eddie Murphy, and sometimes it goes over. And the Kennedy Center allows that they very much agree with freedom of expression, but for the most part, it's a very family-oriented show. It's beautiful, but the writing itself is worth it. And all those guys are in the program. When they see their names, Kennedy Center, when they circulate the program that we're preparing now to their prisons, to the offices, they're going to get newfound respect.
And all the performers, what would they be wearing? All your performers?
Oh, yes. We're doing things a little different this year. Normally, we let people wear things that they want to wear, basically, but as long as it's in keeping with the theme of, very stylish. But this year, we're going the opposite of that. We've gone prison uniforms for everyone. We've gone the striped uniforms. We have that, because, you might get black, white, men and women up there, but we're all the same color. We're all black and white with the stripes, because once you get to prisons, we're all in the same boat. And you know that, too. I don't think I've learned so much about other cultures as I did in the melting pot of prisons, and I'm sure you probably could say the same thing. And you just learn from the rich, the poor, the black, the white, the English, the Hispanic. We're all together there so we're dressing everybody the same way, and it'll be a great photo opportunity. Come on up.
Now when you say that, everybody be wearing the black and white prison stripe uniforms, and I know the last time I wore one, I had a severe case of mesothelioma. I just swole up, and my ears got big, and my eyes got crossed. I couldn't breathe.
Right.
So I need to spray that. When you give me one of them stripes, I need to spray it with Lysol to make sure I don't get mesothelioma.
I understand.
Okay.
Then we will truly be brothers.
We're coming to that time, folks, that we're running out of time, and I guess it's been Dennis Sobin and Rose Baham. They're produced. Okay. Dennis Sobin is a producer of the Prison Foundation, and Rose is executive director of the Safe Street Foundation. I know she hasn't said much. She's quiet like it.
What I want to do with Rose is I asked her to select one of the pieces, which is going to be done professionally, and of the writing from prison. So we really have the prisons represented here.
Go ahead.
Please.
Come on, Rose.
Okay, this is one of the poems. I had a thought early today of worlds lost in time and misty days, where eternity is called heaven, and it is quite bright and lovely. So what did I do but wandered along life's way, seeking success or whatever here today? It does appear the road to hell does get in the way of my best thoughts and plans, but to allow it to stop me would be quite a sin. So for the sake of heaven over hell, I do pray my luck will change and I find my way, for heaven's sake. Today by Douglas Badger, Montgomery County, inmate in Maryland.
Wow, that's one of the poems that she just read from somebody inside of the prison. This guy's in Montgomery County. Folk, you're in for a treat. for September the 1st. We're getting ready to wrap up. Dennis, you want to say some? Take a couple of minutes to do a closing before we leave.
Sure, I could do an opening too.
Well, we do the opening. We'll do the opening September the 1st.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Go ahead.
We have been planning this all year. We screen the writing from prisoners. It's a very exciting time. It's almost like a competition to get here, but it all depends on people coming out and supporting it. If you don't come out and support it, it's like ignoring these people and saying, we don't care. There's no reason not to do it. We have the free art. We have Rose's birthday party, which you'll hear it done. Maybe even if Kevin's still listening, maybe the Amazing Gospel Schools can do a little R&B rendition of Happy Birthday. And it's a very special event. And as you put it, Rose, Rose put it this way, but you also have said it too, Roach, that if we are successful here, we can get the turnout of people. Again, it's not revenue because it's already been paid for by some of our generous supporters, so everybody's being compensated. But the people who come are being compensated with the free art that our donors have made available too, and the people in prison. But if we can get this turnout this year, we are set to go on the road with this. We can show our underwriters, our producers, that there is an interest. There is an interest in men and women in prison. People are not turning their backs. They're willing to come on out and support them. And if we can show that, as you said, Roach, we can go to New York, Chicago, L.A., Atlanta, and regionally have sort of a talent show of men and women, formerly incarcerated men and women, and to see who the best actors are, the best music groups are, musicians, and really put something very solid together, and still using our core of people, to continue the show around the country, a little touring group, but opening it up in each region to the talent of formerly incarcerated people in that region. And I'm saying this as if it's my idea. It's your idea,
No, we shared it together. We shared together. See, this is something, folks. This is the beginning of a big thing. The longest journey begins with the first step. And taking this step right now, folks, we need you to come out to support the show September the 1st at the Kennedy Center. It's free, so you ain't got no excuse, but you ain't been paid and you couldn't cash your check. That's not even an issue. Just you can catch the subway, get a shuttle from the Metro Foggy Bottom Station and ride over. So you'll have no excuse not to attend. We need your support. We need you in the place so we can keep something like this going. And you said we want it now. It's a need. Because of criminal justice and mass incarceration, this production, taking it on the road nationally, we do a lot to educate, inform, and stimulate folk about what prison's about and all the talent that's lying dormant inside of them institutions that we can tap into. Because from pain, a lot of misery comes out of the pain, but out of that pain, a lot of creativity. And the creativity from the paintings, from the drawings, from the books that folks in the manuscripts, and the performances. You have a lot of stuff down there, folk, that you can see. And the project about the quilts, you got quilts made by men and women on death row. They'll be on exhibit. So, folk, come down September the 1st at 8 p.m. at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in the Family Theater. It's free. Come on out and show your support from prison to the stage.
Roach, also you've mentioned the shuttle, of course, but if people want to drive, and I know a lot of people like to drive, or they're bringing many people, there is parking underneath the Kennedy Center. There's plenty of parking there.
$100.
Little cost. No. A little costly, but there's also across the street from the Kennedy Center, less expensive parking. And in the neighborhood, if you don't mind, and people should walk a little more, as I know Rose does. She's a big walker around the city, all over the city, that they can park a few blocks away for free, because there's plenty of neighborhood parking around there too. So come by car if you want, come by Metro if you want, take the shuttle there, but do come out, please.
Beautiful. Our guest has been Dennis Sobin and Rose Baham. We're talking about From Prison to the Stage, the 10th annual production at the Kennedy Center, performed by returning citizens, so it's free. Also, this Saturday, the 6-month moratorium to stop the killings and cookout amateur boxing match, which is being sponsored by Ceasefire Don't Smoke the Brothers, Saturday, August 25th at the Upshur Street Playground from 12 noon to 8 p.m. This is the 10th year they've been having this, and Al Malik Farrakhan and the Madness Connection has been doing this religiously. And folk, come on out. This is one of the largest cookouts on the East Coast for returning citizens. There's in excess of 5,000 to 8,000 folk were in attendance each year. So come out, bring your family, bring your chairs, and sit down and enjoy the boxing match and the outdoor cookout. This is the 6-month moratorium to stop the killings by ceasefire, don't smoke the brothers and the sisters. This Saturday, August 25th at the Upshur Rec Center at 14th and Arkansas Avenue. And finally, and before we close, I'd like to say congratulations to my wife, Mertine, who will be debuting her More Rap African collection as Mothers of Professional Basketball Players, Inc. presents Mothers and Sons Slaying the Runway. The fashion show is this Saturday, August 25th from 2 to 5 at the Marriott Marquis, downtown D.C. Mertine is one of the Macy's designers in residence who will be showing her line along with other talented designers of the Macy's D.C. collective. To purchase tickets, Google MPBP Fashion Show DC. That's MPBP Fashion Show. DC Mothers of Professional Basketball Players. NBA players and their moms will be modeling with professional models. To learn more about Mertine's designer line, visit morerap.com and on Instagram, morerapmagalon. Baby, you something else. I didn't know you was designing clothes too. I know you picked my clothes out in the morning, but you wasn't designing them. You just lay them on the bed. So come on out, folks, this Saturday to see the fashion show with Mothers of Professional Basketball Players, Inc. presents Mothers and Sons Slaying the Runway. And folk, it's an evening to be enjoyed. There's a lot going on in this town this weekend. So to Mertine, I want to say thank you, my beautiful wife. To Jackie Craig Bay, who's our social producer. To Katia Stitt, who's sitting on the board for us this morning doing the engineering. To Shahid from In the Community TV. And who did I forget? I forgot the warden. I didn't call the warden's name. We don't need the warden today, do we, Dennis?
I don't think so.
No, we don't need the warden today. I want to say thanks to everybody who listened to Crossroads, and for all of you folks who are on the strike around the country. You have our support.
Yes.
We are in our prayers, and whatever we can do here at Crossroads to assist those men and women who are striking for the low wages, for the abusive treatment they're being assigned to abolish solitary confinement, poor medical health. You name it, the issues are there. So I wish everybody a safe day, and please don't let nobody get hurt or get killed who taking a stand on this prison right. They are riding, they're striking in 17 states around the country. Prisoners are rising up to say enough is enough is enough. So you have our support. Until next time, this is Roach Brown.